Bir başka çok kıymetli konuşmamızla devam ediyoruz programa. Kendisi bugün için gerçekten çok uzun yollardan geldi. Müşteri kazanma odaklı etkili sosyal medya stratejilerinden bahsedecek bize. Forbes dergisinin en iyi sosyal medya power influencer'ı seçilen bestseller yazar GARDNER'ı alkışlarınızla sahneye davet ediyorum.
Go that way, right? Cool. All right. Good evening, everybody. Good to be back here in Istanbul. This is my sixth time, maybe my fourth time speaking here, but I love the city. And I'll just tell you guys real briefly, whenever I go across the world and I speak, people always ask me, they say, so what's your favorite city? And you know, my mother and my grandmother told me, don't ever lie. Don't ever lie. So whenever they say, what's your favorite city? I always say Istanbul, everywhere I go. And if it's London, if it's anywhere in the world, I always say, look, I think your city is absolutely amazing. I'm kind of partial to Istanbul, but you guys are just doing it great. So I always tell everybody at least how amazing this city is. And so when I got a chance to come back, I totally jumped at the opportunity. So thank you guys for coming out. I won't be too long here. They asked me to come and talk about social media and how to use it for customer success. And most brands I look at on Twitter and Facebook, they're not using social media, at least effectively. They're not responding to comments, positive or negative. I don't definitely see them really highlighting customers. I don't see them doing anything saying thank you, you name it. So this is a topic that, because of that, is quite relevant. Real quick here, you can connect with me on Twitter, Instagram, and you can email me as well. I do respond to emails. I get roughly maybe 50 to 100 a day, but I try to get through all of them on a daily basis. This is my journey here. I've worked for a number of corporations. First it was Apple, right out of high school. Microsoft, Huawei, Silicon Valley Bank. More recently, Influence Central. Influence Central, I do influencer marketing for them, and I create content around artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning. It's really, really fascinating stuff. And of course, HuffPost, that really kind of got me out there in 2009. So what is customer success? Customer success really, honestly, as it says here, is really the goal of putting the customer first, really making the customer as successful as possible. And I think when you can make the customer successful or lay the foundation for success by reaching out to individuals and really sort of getting beyond simply posting about yourself and what your company is about. I want to share a slide here that's quite funny, but I've worked for a lot of companies, I've consulted companies, and companies are still doing this. So this is the 5 types of social media strategies. It's like us, so we can tell you how awesome we are. We are awesome, we are awesome. Awesome deal, and I worked for a financial institution, and the financial institution, they would always talk about their rates. Our rates are the lowest ever. We have the lowest rates in the neighborhood. It was absolutely like frustrating, because I would say nobody wants to hear about your rates. They know it's a financial institution. Start talking about the kinds of things that people are interested in. And as you can see here, it's the whole notion of making someone else awesome, saying to them, we want to make you the best possible customer, the best possible individual we can. How can we do that? And you do that by doing 2 things. The whole thing, a lot of people say add value. What does add value mean? When you add value, you speak to the problems and you speak to the passions of a particular person. So for example, if it's a financial institution, a bank, if you will, a bank could post in social media about the things that worry someone. So if you're worried about maybe say how you're going to pay your bills, if you're worried about how you're going to put your kids through school, if you're worried about maybe paying the mortgage, a bank could really reach out to people and get more customers talking about that. And of course, the passions are just the things that really excite you. What excites you? What really gets you going in the morning? If a company can speak about that, if a company can do that on a daily basis, I think companies honestly could get more customers and actually do some things. So this here is one thing, keeping customers educated. Now, this is a really good example. Social media today is a very big publication worldwide. And what Social Media Today did is they created this LinkedIn group. It's not a LinkedIn page, it's just a LinkedIn group. What's great about this is two things. One is they've branded themselves Social Media Today. It's like if I had a publication and I called it Istanbul Today. Well, first of all, that's doing two things. I'm saying I'm keeping you abreast of what's happening in this city. But by the same token, I'm saying I'm going to consistently be up to date with what's happening all over this city. So it's self-branding, but also keeping people abreast. This is what this does. A lot of these individuals will do what they call self-promotion. I mean, that's to be expected with individuals who are social media consultants and so forth. But I honestly like this, and you have to keep people educated. It's almost like education. I tell people it's inspiration, it's education, and aspiration. And if you can educate individuals and keep them abreast of what maybe they don't know on a daily basis, monthly basis, weekly basis, individuals will keep coming back to you. This is one, now it's so funny. My mother calls me today, and she says, you have to put this in. I saw Instagram, Turkish Airlines, and you have to put this slide in. So I put this in today, and I have to thank my mother for this. Turkish Airlines is giving you a behind-the-scenes look of what's coming. Because I traveled over here on Turkish Airlines, and I didn't see the flight attendants dressed this way. I think this is coming with the new airport here. But I like this, and this is showing you what's coming, because it says here, our new cabin crew uniforms are always in style. I like this. This is very simple, and it's very straightforward. This here is a company called Ultimate Software, and Ultimate Software deals with human resource management, and they work with HR. Their whole mantra is customer first, right? Customers first. I really like this, but this is not for customers. Excuse me, not customers first, these are employees first. This is not for employees, this is for customers. Because if you are a customer and you say, wow, they're talking about employees first, that means that satisfied employees are going to treat customers with respect. So hopefully, hold on a second. Let me get this. Yes, it is. Oh, no. All right. Is that it? It's 30 seconds.
Who had their hands full well before you found them. They're distinct, passionate. They dream big and live for the little moments. They've got a lot going on, before 9 and after 5. Yet they take care of your business, no matter where their path leads. Take care of them with HR technology that puts employees first. Ultimate Software, people first.
Now, I like this, and I like it because it says, and which is actually true, I've been places before where there were a lot of dissatisfied employees, and they talk to customers any kind of way. They're like, you know what, man, Sean, I don't care about this place. You know, I'm just trying to get my paycheck. But that's not the kind of attitude that you want. You want a place where people can't wait to come to work and have really nice things to say about the people who are employing them. So this people first thing works. The reason why it works here is because it's definitely a behind-the-scenes content, and there are 4 types of behind-the-scenes content here, all right? As you can see here, team-building content, that would probably relate to Ultimate Software's commercial, their TV commercial about people first and employees first. Progress content is definitely something showing how your company is moving along, and so with Turkish Airlines talking about their new outfits, that's progress. That's showing you that they're moving forward. Funny content and personal content, and I love personal content to mix it up. You can't always talk about, you know, how amazing you are and you want people to like your page, so that's why it says here, you know, don't just post business-only content, always mix it up. This here is awesome. I'm not sure if you guys know this. Starbucks is my favorite brand in the world. I like a typical American, I go places and before I go, I always like to research to see if a Starbucks is in a particular country. So Starbucks, I like the fact that they give to veterans, they actually pay for health care, they do a number of things globally that a lot of people may not know about. And one of the things that they've done is they started a signing store for deaf Americans. This is absolutely great. Let's see here if we could run this.
All I can say is about time. So for the first time ever, Starbucks is opening a store that caters to those who communicate through sign language. I love that. It's opening in DC, and it'll be the first U.S. cafe staffed by employees who are partially or fully deaf and capable of communicating in sign language. The chain will hire 20 to 25 people from across the country who all know ASL. That means American Sign Language. No word when they'll introduce this nationwide, but DC store will open in October. And our software segment we like to call So They Say.
Okay, I like this, and I like the fact that Starbucks decided to do something, because first of all, the reason why this works is this: 70% of deaf Americans are underemployed or unemployed. That is a particularly high number. And it says also that Starbucks is about inclusion and diversity. Starbucks had a really big blow up this year in Philadelphia. 2 men were arrested, and so they shut down all of the Starbucks nationwide. They might have shut it down globally, but they shut it down, and they wanted to sort of get back to the basics about community and inclusion and so forth. And like I tell everybody, the best marketing is doing something great for another person. It really is. And a lot of people just think that if you just, again, market yourself and market what you're about and how you want people to support you and buy your product, that's great. When you do something great for somebody else, that person's going to talk about it, because 2 people know something, 3 people know it. And so you have to really keep that into consideration. Definitely show that you like to have fun. I love having fun, and I love seeing companies have fun. So Nike is also one of my favorite brands. And this is one of my maybe all-time favorite commercials. There is a basketball commercial with this same beat that is even better, I think, but I like this, and I think it's appropriate for the audience because this is soccer. So you'll love this. It's just maybe 45 seconds. Love that. And Nike actually is about 2 things. This is what Steve Jobs, and I agree with him, the late Steve Jobs said, Nike is about great athletes and Nike is about great commercials. So this right here shows that they're having fun, and this is actually still one of the best on YouTube. This right here is maybe one of my all-time favorite campaigns. General Electric did, and I talk about this a lot. This is the holiday season all over the world, and what General Electric did on Instagram, this is what a number of people do. I do it. I use an app. The app is called Giant Square. The World Tourism Forum based here in Istanbul, they do this as well. And you can do it with 3, 6, whatever it may be. What they end up doing was on 2 different accounts, they filled up 9 different squares and it amounted to a snow globe. They did it actually on 7 or 8 different accounts, but these were the most popular. And I like this because what it's showing is that G is sort of attaching GE to kindness, joy, love, happiness, the kind of feelings that you get during the holiday season. But by the same token, they were the first company, the first major brand to use Giant Square. So when you think about Giant Square, when you think about Instagram campaigns, you can't help but bring up what General Electric did here. This is absolutely great. It's fun, but by the same token, they were doing some brand awareness and a brand association with the holiday season. It shows you really seriously that you don't really need a big, not to say a big campaign, but you don't really need a big budget. This was just something that an intern came up with. They got behind it and got a great deal of publicity from it. I didn't want to do this, but I would have actually been wrong to sort of leave AI out of this. Social media is one thing, but a lot of digital marketers and content marketers are also trying to figure out how they can use AI tools. There are lots of AI tools for productivity, if you will, or a lot of AI tools that people are using to sort of free up time. Because that's how I look at AI. I don't look at AI as a way of replacing a human. It's more about replacing a task. So these are 2 of the most popular AI tools. Lumen 5. Lumen 5 is awesome. You put in anything. You can put in Istanbul, and it's going to create a particular video with you and different images relating to this city. Anything. Articulo is another one, and just a few words and a blog post. So the good thing about this, of course, is that whether you're writing a paper, whether your business needs more blog posts, these particular ones right here, I think, can free up time. And if you're paying a writer, then maybe you can use that money for something else and use this particular app. This is really what happens when I can't really stress this enough, poor customer service. These are the kinds of things that happen. People will never use your brand again. They'll definitely tell family and friends about the experience. And it's really bad when it escalates to a supervisor or manager. I've been on the receiving end of this, where individuals will say to me, have said to me, Sean, listen, I really did not appreciate what your company did. I think your company sucks. I think you suck. What are you going to do about that? And I don't come back at them at all. I said, listen, I'm really sorry you feel that way. But individuals, I think for the most part, if you engage people, individuals will appreciate that, because most customers, believe it or not, expect for a brand, any business, to connect with them and to address their concerns in 60 minutes or less. So when you allow a whole day to go by, you allow these bad feelings to fester, and that's something that just kind of goes out and connects with a number of people. I did 2 things for you guys. There's an infographic here, how to manage negative social media comments. This is a presentation that I made public, so it's searchable through Google. And of course, my email is on this as well, so you can definitely connect with me, and I can send it to you whether I'm here or whether I'm home. But this is great. It tells you everything, keeping your cool, don't delete anything, take a screenshot of every single interaction. Another one that I included here for you guys is 7 powerful ways to connect with people online. This is what works for me, about being happy for people, using empowering language. We, us, and our, not me, myself, and I. Just one particular example. Asking for help, thinking beyond borders. And that's just thinking beyond borders, I think, is very key, because you could post something in Istanbul and maybe I might see it in Seattle. Or I can post something in Seattle and somebody's going to see it in Hong Kong. So always be aware that it's almost like when you post something in social media, that microphone is always on. Somebody's going to catch it, somebody's going to see it. And if you're representing a brand, you have to know better than to be negative. And again, always remember, these are my 4 things here. Being thoughtful, thinking about people, thinking about how you want to respond, being resourceful. And this is very key, because I always tell individuals that it's not about really the size of your account. I have 1 million Twitter followers, but what's interesting about it is people say they like my content. It's a mix of content, but it's resourceful. It's tips. It's all kinds of resourceful things. It's about being respectful. It is. And about being meaningful. To give you a good example, on LinkedIn, I always say thank you. I think saying thank you is a superpower. I don't understand why people don't really do this more. But no matter what you look like, no matter what country you're from, no matter how many followers you have, I say thank you to anybody who shares anything of mine on any particular platform. And on LinkedIn, it's doubly important because that's about business, that's about connecting with people, that's about careers. You never know who's watching, and you certainly never know who you're connecting with. So having said all of that, thank you for this invite, and I appreciate your attention late in the day. Any questions? All right, does anybody have any questions about content, anything? I'm going to be around, in fact, I think I was telling someone I'm going to be around for 2 more days. So I think they're trying to get something together for students tomorrow or Saturday, because there are a number of reasons that things may work for me on LinkedIn or for Twitter, whatever it may be, and it's things that I could not share here because it's kind of arduous. So if you want to either email me or @ me on one of my social media accounts, I can tell you about it, but it should be either tomorrow or Saturday.
Thank you.